How's it going, guys? We're back for another SBT power ranking. This is in the A League, and I'm not alone. We have Eagle Gene now. You can say
Hey,
hi.
hey.
Um, we have Hunter as well.
Hello.
We have King Swampy,
Yo.
and we obviously have the Canadian kid, Tyler, the creator of the SBT League.
What's up, guys?
Okay, so as you can see in front of us, we have our power rankings listed from 12 to 1. And we're just going to go over A League as we did the same with C and B. So I guess we can just get right into it. Our number 12 ranking is a coach that we actually have in this video itself, and actually the last season champion. So we can start talking about his team. We have the Pallet Town Pikachus and Eagle Gene. So, what do you guys think about Eagle's team? Eagle, do you want to say some words?
Let's let Eagle defend his team.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with. So last season I was ranked pretty low, and I didn't end up doing pretty well. So I'm still confident in my team. So we'll see how it goes. But
It's a good team.
yeah, the plan was to draft the team around Mega Aerocross to make it so it does the most work possible. So my cores are kind of unconventional. My team is kind of also unconventional, but I dressed things that let's say Mega Aerocross is weak to fire, psychic, fire and psychic are covered by Incineroar. The fairy weakness was covered by Jirachi, so I tried to work like that, and then I tried to get one for speed control with discharge Zapdos and webs and tailwind whimsicott. So and Aurora Veil with Ninetales, all those things help set up the Mega Aerocross.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So to me, that was the mindset.
I think you have most of your cores. Again, you just don't have a dragon type, right? But
yeah, I don't have a dragon type, but I have my water fairy grass, water fire grass core, and my fairy dragon still.
Yeah.
So, about my fairy still. So and I have a.
I might as well say, Gene also joined us for the call, so you can say hi.
Yeah, hello. I might not talk much though.
Okay. Eagle, you want to explain why you drafted Jirachi first round?
Yeah, I drafted. Yeah, I had the first overall pick. I drafted Jirachi. Well, first, I think Jirachi is underrated usually because I think it should be at least a top 10 pick in every league.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And first it's 100 base stats, and in every stat is realized, especially with its typing. And it could do so many different things. That
it has.
That's why
so good. Amazing coverage, multiple sets.
Yeah, amazing coverage. It can be physical or special.
It can be defensive, especially defensive.
Yeah,
scarf.
Which, there's the scarf set, obviously with Ironhead, and there's the flinching set.
There was one set that I ran with Jirachi in season 2 against Juke, because he had a very impressive rain team, and I brought physically defensive assault vest Jirachi to kind of take on his
everything.
To take on everything. So you can run Jirachi assault vest as well.
It could be super bulky on both sides. It can be offensive on both sides as well. Access to Wish, which is also nice. Obviously there's some body slam. I had the idea of spreading paras on my opponent's team, and I think Jirachi with body slam with this 70 grace with a 60% para chance is it's great.
Pretty insane. And then and then there's Hunter with the water pulse set.
Yeah, you beat me to saying it.
Yeah,
against that Mega Camel versus Star.
Just against Mega Camel, yeah.
Yeah. So with Calm Mind and Wish and Protect, you could do so many different things. That's great typing.
The Calm Mind set is sometimes looked out over, right? So
yeah. So to me, it's a great scarfer as well. So yeah, that's why I went with it first overall. I felt like it paired well with Mega Aerocross as well. being like it resists the flying weakness and the fairy weakness that Mega Aircross has. Plus the psychic weakness as well. So they only share the fire weakness, which is covered by Pex and Incineroar. So
the ground weakness, Heracross kind of covers that as well, right? So
yeah, and Zapdos. So that's why I kept with my first 3 mods were Jirachi, Mega Aircross, and Zapdos.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just try to finish up my core, try to adjust my speed tiers because obviously I had 200 base speed mod. So that's why I went with Talent Flame there and Ninetales and so on. It kind of fixes my speed tiers there.
For sure, yeah.
Right. The big thing that stands out to me with this team though is you did draft Incineroar and Pex, but the fire weakness on this team is still really heavy.
There's a big fire weakness, but I mean he has some options to cover that. Obviously, Pex, Incineroar.
Right.
So.
Yeah, my favorite thing about this
depends on how offensive the fire.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not stab, it's not too bad. If it's a really strong stab fire type move, then it becomes an issue.
Like a, like a scarfed Embor or something, it could do some work. But again, you have Intimidate on Incineroar, you have Toxapex, so.
Yeah, I'm hoping that
Toxapex kind of set up Volcarona.
Or Volcarona, it could be an issue.
But I'm hoping that Pex covers that, so we'll see how it goes. But for sure there's a big fire weakness there, and I don't have many rock centers, which is an issue as well. Like I have Mudsdale and Jirachi, but I don't want to bring Jirachi with rocks that often either.
Yeah, you want
so that's an issue. That's an issue. Sure. I got webs, and T-spikes, but so at least there's that. But
you have T-spikes, webs. You have rocks on Mudsdale as well, so it's a pretty decent, like you have most of your cores in a lot of the hazards that you need, and obviously you have 2 fire types which are hindered by rocks and Ninetales. So
Ninetales,
so you do have Defog, Prankster Defog, and Whimsicott obviously.
So that's why I'm relying a bit on that, and Zapdos is a good remover most of the time, but
I can see the strategy with the team. I love the Porygon Z. It's just an amazing wall breaker. One of the best in my opinion. Like very underused, just because it's typing. It can be walled by steel types, obviously, but it still does a lot of damage to a steel type with
and like if he has adaptability. It depends on the second typing on the steel type as well, because it gets access to a lot of coverage as well. So
for sure,
and with the Open Z now, like it would go Open Z. So
unfortunately, you can't run the Z conversion set, but you can
but you can still run like a Z Tri Attack or Z Thunderbolt or Z Ice Beam.
Exactly.
So and like my team is built around Mega Aircross as a wall breaker, so like if I don't want to bring Mega Aircross, but I can still use the same strategy with Porygon Z. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, and Heracross also covers the steel that PZ can't hit, right? So I like it, but unfortunately we have it. Like
it's like it was built around more of a strategy more than anything else, but because of that there's some glaring weaknesses to the team, but I'm hoping I can work around it.
There's some utility there, you have Veil, and you have webs, and
I'm hoping to get tricky with that, or Whimsicott can also be pretty tricky, so
yeah. Anyone else's thoughts on why we ranked him the bottom, why we ranked our season 3 champion at the bottom?
You really covered everything.
He's a terrible battler.
Yeah. Well, it's
like,
it's just tradition,
he has,
So.
He has great
Stole
speed
my
tiers.
spot. I'm mad.
He has great speed tiers, great wall breakers, but it's just kind of it's built around a strategy, and there's not much synergy to be seen on the top level.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? When we look at it as ranking, we don't look at the strategy itself. We just kind of just look at the synergy. So, but obviously the coach knows more about why he drafted the Mons than the people outside looking in. So.
Yeah, but I knew as well. Like I knew drafting that team, I knew it was going to be ranked pretty low, probably close to the bottom as well. But that's usually the team I draft. Like last season as well, I was bottom of the ranking. So sometimes it's more like
Mhm.
how you use the team and stuff like that. So maybe who knows? Maybe I'll still get wrecked, but we'll see.
I mean, hey, sometimes the foes can't see your strategy, and then they end up getting swept by a choice band Staraptor.
Sometimes.
So,
Yeah.
um, all right. Well, if anyone has anything else to say, we
No,
can.
I think we covered everything. I mean, there's like I said, like there are some pretty glaring weaknesses to fire,
Mhm.
and obviously hazards are a problem too. But
Yeah.
I mean, you do have good hazard removal with Winsicott and Zapdos.
Mhm.
So
I will say, the flying weakness is also there, but Zapdos and
yeah,
Jirachi
a little
kind
bit.
of-
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
Yeah. I'm
But
hoping the static
you
on
have-
Zapdos will save me.
Yeah.
have,
I mean, as long as you don't run into a Staraptor, I think you should be okay. But
I was gonna say he doesn't have the best matchup against my team, but
all right.
Well, my matchup will probably be bad most of the time, but
I think more. I mean, not so much Staraptor, but Rotom Heat
Rotom Heat.
more of a problem. More of a problem for this team than that.
I think
I'm a fan of having both of those mons.
yeah. I think bulky pivots could like cause some issues, but at the same time, again, Eagle has Toxapex, which can regenerate, and he has Intimidate on Incineroar, so he has a very nice core there, and he can kind of get around the bulky pivots. So
yeah, some of the mons you'll probably see more often than not, because I don't have like Pex is probably and so are probably gonna come off in the season because I need them for specific roles. So
that's true. Zapdos, he's proven to take like just any hit virtually.
Yeah, Zapdos is pretty dumb as well.
So, and I love Talonflame. Talonflame with Open Z is just a monster as well. So
yeah.
Okay, well, if anyone doesn't have anything else, we can move on to our number 11 team. We have the Carabobo Crogunks and Gunk himself. He's actually a new recruit to the A-League after another one of our coaches dropped. But we have him at number 11. If anyone wants to talk about his team.
Before we go into it, we do have to recognize that he just made a transaction for week 2 for Escavalier and Rhyperior.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
he did do that. The Escavalier, if you guys see Escavalier on the screen there, he has Rhyperior now, and he already played his week 1 match, so it's already taken into effect.
The doc says he has Rhyperior.
Yeah,
it's already changed.
He has it now, just because he already played his match. So
yeah.
Spoilers, guys. We're recording after a lot of the matches have already happened. But anyways, we can go over his current team. And he has a pretty decent core with Mega Diancie, Heatran, and his dragon type is the Zygarde, 10%. So it's a nice fairy dragon steel. His dragon is kind of it's not very bulky,
Right.
but it can hit hard. It's if you don't bring the proper response to 1,000 arrows, it could be a problem.
Yeah.
So he also has Bulu. He has Bulutran, obviously, and his water types I like his water types. I don't know if he needs both of them really, but I do like the Gyarados and Starmie. Gyarados sometimes it's more often just seen drafted as a Mega, but it is also very nice just as a regular, because with Open Z it gets Z Bounce, it can still Dragon Dance. There's also the Rest Talk Leftovers bulky set, and I'm just a fan of Gyarados there. Starmie, a very nice Rapid Spinner for him. I think he has some removal on his team, but he also has Mega Diancie to kind of Magic Bounce everything back.
Yeah, well, he has Stormy and Tornadus.
Tornadus, yeah.
I don't like his steel type. I I am not a fan of Magneton.
He's
Yeah.
Heatran.
Heatran's also there, but
He
again,
does have
they're
Heatran.
they're both four
But they're
times weak
both
to.
4 times, yeah.
They are both 4 times weak to ground, yes.
So,
But I mean that
he has
is
Bulu.
counteracted with Bulu. But
He does
And
have
yeah.
Bulu.
Bulu isn't a big enough counter to that big of a ground weakness.
Yeah. Because if
No.
the ground type has a secondary typing, or if it has, like, say, a Landorus, you know, it can obviously hit the Bulu for super effective damage there too.
He actually has like 6 Mons on his team. Oh wait. No, 7 Mons on his team that have a quad weakness to something.
What?
He has Heatran, Gyarados, Zygarde, Rhyperior, Mega Deoxys, Tapu Bulu, and Magneton.
Wow.
They're nearly all different as well.
He beat me.
Yep.
He beat me for 4 times weaknesses. I have 4 this season.
The only
I
one
guess
that's the same is Heatran and Magneton. All the others are different.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it can keep your opponent guessing on which like an power they want to run.
Yeah, exactly.
But then
Right.
again, something with a lot of coverage is kind of tough to deal with. For me, the thing I love the scores, where I feel like again I had a tough time seeing the synergy. I love the Rhyperior transaction though. I feel like it helps his team a lot since like his only ground type was like at 10%, and he couldn't really use that to switch it into election type. So I love the Rhyperior transaction a lot.
I actually
I
like.
think it helps, but like then again, I didn't see the synergy. Like I feel like it was just good mons bunched together.
Yeah. You can still make it work, but I actually like the Escavalier, because it's only weak to fire, right? And then you had the Heatran, which had the Flash Fire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he did
But it
just
was a
add
third
around.
steel type, so
The Rhyperior definitely has the worst typing of the two, but I mean, I guess he needed another Mon to set.
and
hazards.
well, that
He definitely did.
rocks as well. So I
Mhm.
think
Yeah. Rhyperior is always very like with solid rocks. It rarely gets. I've used Rhyperior before, and even a Life Orb Energy Ball from a Victini doesn't OHKO Rhyperior because of its ability. So it's still very bulky.
yeah, and I think most people they're not gonna run like HP water or grass or whatever unless they have the coverage for it. Because
Yeah.
usually you want to run like ground for Etran or HP poison for Bulu or HP steel for Diancie. So I think people are gonna stay away
Yeah,
from running like HP water or grass just for the Rhyperior.
I mean,
Right.
a fighting type can still put in a lot of work against his team. Like you see the Heatran, the Rhyperior, the Licky
sure.
Licky, even the Diancie doesn't really want to take fighting hits sometimes.
Yeah. It's
So-
only the Bulu, the Thorn, and the Gyarados that resist. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Sunny as well, I guess, but
So he does have resist there, but of course,
But
a
it's
lot of
not-
fighting
yeah.
mons they get coverage. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Infernape, I think could be an issue. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like
you know.
especially ape with HP electric or something. Yeah, it's an issue.
Mhm. So it could just be the multiple weaknesses he has on his team, but they could have some synergy here and there if he plays it well, if he brings the right mons for certain matchups. I would have liked to see him have more of a Volturn core. He does have Magneton and Torn, so that could be something, and they do kind of resist each other's weaknesses, so that's not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, but I guess only 2 though. So
Yeah, there's only really the 2, so.
yeah, so he has a lot of good stuff going for him, but then again, he has it's a bit like my team. Like he has a lot of good stuff going for him, but there's still glaring weaknesses. So
Because like he has 2 ground types, he has 2 steel types. Like he did double up on a lot of typings, which
which creates weaknesses, like added weaknesses.
2 fairy types, 2 water types. So it kind of creates an advantage for his foes to kind of prep for which typings he can like get rid of first for his sweepers to kind of win in the late game. But who knows? He can probably make it work. He still has a lot of transactions he can do, and he dropped the Escavalier. He probably thought that it wasn't doing much. his speed tiers aren't too bad as well. He does have Zygarde, which is his fastest mon, I believe, and then the Diancie.
Yeah.
Diancie again is amazing, just in and of
Yeah,
itself.
it's very, very good. Yeah.
You know, it can potentially win in late game by itself, but yeah. So, I don't know if anyone else wants to comment on Gunk's team. I think we covered a lot of it.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. So then we can move on to our number 10 team.
Ooh.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
that's gonna be the Durham Dragonaires and myself, and my team.
So, Vance, tell us, why is your team bad?
Yeah, why is my team number 10? It is looking kind of harsh, you know. It's sitting at number 10.
Hey, I
And
was last.
yeah, I don't know why it didn't make number 12. I'm very salty about that, but I guess Eagle had it there. So again, my entire strategy was like Eagle said. I kind of wanted to draft around Mega Pinsir as he did with Mega Heracross. So I went with Landorus T in the beginning so that no one else could draft it, because Mega Pinsir has a hard time breaking Landorus, and I didn't want him to have to go against that. So,
Right.
and they actually do form a nice core together, but they are both weak to ice, obviously. I had to draft like certain wall breakers so that Mega Pinsir can obviously win when like certain mons are down. Like for example, Mega Pinsir can't really do much to a Celesteela. Even a +2 close combat is not going to be doing too much to a Celesteela if it's physically defensive. So I had to draft certain things like Darmanitan or Hydreigon, or even Roserade with its Technician ability can do some work. So there was that, and I know you guys see how slow the team is, and I realized that as well, but I figured a bulkier team for Mega Pinsir could actually be more worth, because Mega Pinsir doesn't like taking hits. He kind of has to always rely on something else to pivot in so that he can actually be safe in the late game. I've never used him before in draft, and I don't regularly see him drafted, so I kind of wanted to go with him and see how he worked. Plus, area late quick attack, it really does some damage, especially if it's adamant. And yeah, you know, I think having such a slow team could add maybe a trick room aspect as well. So there's the stack attack and Bronzong there, and obviously the Araquanid does amazing in trick room. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I don't know. You guys can talk about it.
Well, my issue is because of the speed tier being so slow. I mean, Mega Pinsir isn't slow by any means.
It's
So,
105. It's decent, I guess.
I definitely feel like it's a little bit too fast to run in Trick Room most of the time. Usually you don't want laws over like base 95 speed, I think. But if you had, I think if you had at least like one base 110, like that would have made a big difference.
Yeah, I was looking for something like that, but in the lower tiers, it kind of gets rough to find something, especially to synergize with the rest of the team.
I will say though that I do think that you probably could get away with a late game Trick Room if with Stakataka or something like that, because that thing under Trick Room just 6-0's teams.
Basically,
So,
if you don't have a bulky water type or something like that, stack attack it pretty much just goes in. So
you do have that going for you. I do like this team though. I mean, Lando T, Hydreigon, Florges, that's pretty good right there. You have a good fighting type with like low tier fighting type with Basilian. Your steel types aren't bad. Rotom base is kind of questionable, but I mean, I get it. Like you kind of need something to cover that.
Yeah, it's not really the best pick, but I kind of had to grab some kind of electric type slash. It's still a Rotom, so it still gets Defog and all that craziness. So
right. This team isn't too overly weak to hazards besides Mega Pinsir or Manatan, but you definitely need good hazard removal, which you do have with Gorgeous, Rotom, and OT. You have good hazard setters, Lando T and Bronzong, and Stalker can set rocks too. And you have T-Spikes with Rosebreed, and Webs with Araquanid.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I drafted all the hazards.
Yeah. To me, I like the team a lot, and I like the synergy with Mega Pinsir. I think the reason it's ranked so low, obviously, is because of the speed.
The speed,
and
for sure.
lack of special. Like, you don't have a lot of special attackers.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
But I think it's because other than that, I love the team. Like, even you have a Trick Room team, but then Mega Pinsir at least you can work without Trick Room as well. Like Mega Pinsir can be effective without Trick Room at least, so you have more options. And like Mega Pinsir can take care of, like, usually sometimes like Florges and Bronzong can be prone to setup sweepers, but then Mega Pinsir with aerial quick attack kind of could nullify those. So I like where you went with this with Mega Pinsir. And obviously, the webs can help your team, like Hydreigon and Lando and Darm, so they can help, and Roserade. So the webs can help these guys make a lot more work. So yeah, I like where the team was, like where your team is heading. It's just, I think it's ranked low because of the lack of special attackers and the speed. Because obviously, you're not going to be you don't want to be always be relying on Trick Room.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I think it's like, other than that, I love this energy as well with Mega Pinsir.
I don't think originally I was going for Trick Room, not at all. But I realized my team was starting to look pretty slow, and instead of just drafting like a low tier Fastmon, I would just try and go for try and see if I could grab some Trick Roomy shenanigans.
Yeah.
So.
Because sometimes, anyways, when you grab a low tier model with high speed, it looks like it fixes your speed tiers. But the problem is, usually the other side, your opponent is just gonna look at it and be like, I don't really care about it anyway, so I'm gonna run Adamant.
Anyway. A lot of times those mons are extremely frail or have horrible typing or something like that.
Yeah, and then like your opponent just doesn't really care about it. They're gonna run Adamant or Modest anyways, and so.
Yeah. I can understand
get some better mods instead.
I can understand with a team with the base speed lower than 110. Like I think like a Weavile can run Adamant on me because obviously I'm not going to be able to outspeed anyways. So that is definitely a problem. Like things that are really fast like that. Like even Zeraora can run Adamant, or with
a lot of HP.
A lot of things like that, but I don't know. I don't know how much of an issue it is for me. Like I tried to draft a bulky team as well, so.
Yeah, and you have good Scarfers as well, and Darm, Hydreigon, and Lando T, and Basilian. So, I mean, those Scarfers can deal with those ones pretty easily. So. Yeah,
I can also run a lot of Scarfers as well. So there's that as well.
Yeah, like Zera baits in like a Choice Scarf Darm or something like that with the Flare Blitz, and then still have to find a switch into a Flare Blitz Darmanitan or Click from Lando T. So
yeah. I thought it looked okay. I know there's obviously some weaknesses there, but I'm more like considering some free agencies. But I know I see the I think I see the weakness to flying kind of. There's just my two steel types that kind of take it on, but other than that.
Whole flying type, there's Lando T, I guess, with Demodega also.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah, Lando T, pretty much the catch-it-all kind of Pokemon. If I want him to be defensive, then I can just bring them defensive and kind of just take on any hit. But a lot of the time I kind of want to run offensive too. So
Yeah, well, at least you can build like usually with mods like Vanity or even with Jirachi, you can build your entire team and then use that mod to fill out whatever you need. You know,
Yeah.
in a sense. Unless, like, if let's say you don't know what you want to do with it, then you can just wait until the end and see, okay, what am I missing, and then Vanity usually can fill that with.
yeah, basically.
Nice.
It's like Jirachi in your sense, where like if you built an entire team and you still like have an open spot, Jirachi can fill whatever you need to and can just
Yeah.
run coverage for Pokemon that you think are going to be a problem for your team. So
Yeah.